locals really appreciate good vintage, which is why it makes sense to make the vine change and call the Barossa home. Barossa Village in Anguston, Tanunda and Nuriotpa gives you the retirement lifestyle you deserve. 1, 2 and 3 bedroom homes are now available in safe, connected communities under an hour from the city. Mature well and let it breathe at Barossa Village. Find out more at barossavillage.org.
If you're a Walco kind of family, you're like us. You love your pool. The first thing you did when you got her was get her a solar blankie, her own Walco solar blanket. Now, it's been a few years. Pool still loves her blankie because it stops her evaporating and you save dollars. But now, well, you need a bit more convenience. So get a Walco roller. It's quicker and easier to tuck pool in. And because it's made right here, it'll be delivered immediately. Walco.com.au.
Hey Strikers fans, Peter Siddle here for what promises to be an action-packed BBL season. I can't wait to get back in the Strikers blue this summer, and there's no better sound than the roar of a full Adelaide Oval crowd as some poor batter's stumps go flying. Tickets are on sale now with early bird pricing set to end on Monday the 21st of November. Visit adelaidestrikers.com.au and I look forward to seeing you back at Adelaide Oval this summer.
The new Wayville Mitsubishi showroom is now open. And you know what? You won't see anything like it in SA. It's state-of-the-art, 5-star all the way. And if you're buying a Mitsi or you're getting your car serviced, head to Wayville Mitsubishi. It's now open opposite the showground, driven by Australian Motors.
You want to shut out the wind and rain in winter, or the sun, flies and mozzies in summer, but you don't want to sacrifice your view? Then you need Phantom Screens. For protection from sun, wind and rain all year round, Phantom's SA-made outdoor motorised blinds can span up to 12 metres wide. They offer effortless automation, a blind that's there 1 minute and gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, choose Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoons. It is 11 minutes past 3 o'clock and we are on the live stream thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. So if you want to tune in, jump onto Facebook or onto YouTube because now it's time for Pet Talk Back.
Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
And with hundreds of animals waiting for their forever home, open your heart to an RSPCA rescue animal today. The RSPCA proudly supporting Dr. Derek McNair. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And
it's a big
it's nice. It's nice. It's very nice they support and sponsor this sport. But they're a fantastic organisation. They're so good. I've been involved with them for many years, and I was on the board for a while as well with them. But my 3 pets I have at the moment are all from the RSPCA, and you know, when you go out there and look out there and the money you can spend buying, and you got to be careful, you know, buying online and there's scams and stuff going on, and if you buy from someone interstate, who knows if they're real and the pets are real. So you know, if you're looking for a pet, have a look on the RSPCA website, give them a call. They've got lots of cats at the moment, and they've got quite a few dogs as well.
Okay.
So, and they're so cheap, but don't make that a reason to buy them as well. You need to, coming up for Christmas, a lot of people think, oh, what will I buy? I'll buy you a puppy, I'll buy you a kitten.
That's cute and cuddly. And
it's cute and cuddly. They are cute and cuddly. They do grow up. They are a responsibility. They are an added expense, not just with vet bills, but with if some dogs need to get clipped, you obviously need to feed them. You need to get their vaccinations and stuff, and you should probably insure them in case something goes wrong as well. But you've got them. If you're lucky, if you get a small dog or a cat, you can have them for 20 years. So it's a long time. So don't jump into a decision and just say, they look cute and cuddly, I'm just going to get one, or such and such would like one. Don't give someone a surprise of a pet. Ask them first. Just say, look, because it'll still be a surprise.
Of
you know, when you get a cute little puppy, it's always a surprise. So
Can I ask you, because I think when someone thinks of a rescue dog or cat, they often think, I do certainly, well, you don't know its history. How do you know that it's not going to be skitty or angry with my kids? How do you know that it's going to fit into my family? How do you know that?
how do you know? The RSPCA do a lot of assessment, and they do a lot of behavioural assessment of their pets. So they they know their history. If it's not a puppy, then they usually know the history of the dog or the cat. And so, but they do test to find out, obviously, if it's good with people, if it's good with children, if they're good with other dogs and other cats. Do they have anxiety issues? Do they have any other issues? So they do all this work for you. So that's fabulous. And you can get like the dog I've got at the moment, Freddie. I won't go into the story, but she was very badly abused by her first owners. So we've had her. She was anxious when we got her, but she's now fabulous. She's got very slight anxiety because we've worked on it, and we knew she was going to be anxious. But she's the nicest little dog. So, yes, the RSPCA do a lot of the homework and the work for you, because it's obviously not in their interests finding homes for pets that aren't suitable to you. So they do all that. And if the dog or cat has anxiety, they'll tell you. And they'll tell you things you can do and how bad it is and all that sort of stuff. So,
Poor little
yes.
Freddie.
I know.
It's awful.
I know.
There's some awful people out there.
There are some awful people out there, and to call them animals is a compliment, because animals are very nice. So there's other words we
Far
would
from
use.
that.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Sue's messaged in with photos of her beautiful little one, Bluey. She's adopted him over the weekend.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you remember, she had a couple of snags that came in, and they just didn't like the cats at all. So they out with the snags, in with Bluey. Dr. Derek should check the RSPCA website. They only let you see big staffy types. Same with animal welfare. Do you know what? I did notice that there were bigger dogs on the website.
It varies. They mainly have bigger dogs. My dog is not a big dog. She's a sort of a Maltese poodle-y thing. And my previous dog I got from the RSPCA was a similar little Maltese thing. So yes, they do generally have bigger dogs. And so if you're looking for a bigger dog, that's great. From time to time, they'll certainly get smaller ones as well. And if you have a request, then let them know. Just say, look, I'm looking for this type of dog, needs to get on well with children. I want this sort of size. You might have to wait a long time, but chances are eventually you get there. But yes, Staffies, unfortunately, they're lovely dogs, but they do seem to end up probably being given up more regularly than other types of dogs.
We're going to take a really short break because we're going to talk about thunderstorms in a minute, because I'm guessing your phone rang off the hook with animals freaking out, and fair enough.
Yes, we were quite busy.
And if you've got a question for Dr. Derek, he's only with us for a few short more moments, so 8223 0000 is the number to call.
Meet Jimmy, a proud South Australian CFMEU member.
The 36-hour week is fantastic, just not knowing you accumulate those 4 hours a week, and every second week you got that Monday to look forward to. That's good for mental health issues too. If you're working in this industry and you're not a part of the union, you pretty much do your own bargaining. To make sure that your employees paying all your benefits is a huge deal,
We stand stronger together. The CFMEU, a union of opportunity.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And Business SA and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between Business SA and Ray White Business Sales SA, they're bringing all their experience to your business, making sure it's in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Get in touch with the experts, Business SA and Ray White Business Sales SA on 8300 0000. That's 8300 0000.
Tabby or tortoiseshell, black or brown dog? At RSPCA, they love all breeds, but their favourite breed is rescued. Open your heart and home to an RSPCA rescue. Currently, they have hundreds of animals in care waiting for their forever home. Every animal needs a place to call home, to feel loved and give love unconditionally. When you adopt, you can feel their appreciation. You came during their hour of need. When you sign their adoption form, you become their hero and they will love you forever for it. Find the perfect pet to join your family. Call into the RSPCA Lonsdale Shelter, Mayor Road, Lonsdale, or search their website for their gallery. You can visit rspcasa.org.au.
There's no blueprints to your new custom-built Beechwood home. Well, not yet anyway. But together with Beechwood, it won't take long to turn your ideas into sketches, then drawings, and finally a home you can live a beautiful life in. That's the really exciting thing about building with Beechwood Homes. They'll build the home you want. So collect your thoughts, your ideas, your Pinterest boards, whatever, and let's talk. Because life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
At Arana, we believe everyone should live the life of their choice. We create opportunities for people with disability to live as independently as possible. We support people with an NDIS plan who are looking for their forever home. Arana homes are safe, welcoming and above all supportive, where people make friends and get more out of life. Arana has vacancies in the Adelaide, Riverland and Spencer Gulf areas. For independent living, make your home with Arana. Visit aranaonline.com.au. Arana, creating opportunities.
The new Wayville Mitsubishi showroom is now open. And you know what? You won't see anything like it in SA. It's state-of-the-art, 5-star all the way. And if you're buying a Mitsi or you're getting your car serviced, head to Wayville Mitsubishi. It's now open opposite the showground, driven by Australian Motors.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Pet Talk Back. If you'd like to talk to Dr. Derek McNair about your pet, any questions at all, he's more than happy to take your calls. 82230000. The thunderstorms well, really, they haven't stopped. I was going to say on Saturday night, but let's be honest, they were there again Sunday and last night. Is that freaking a lot of animals out?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Dogs and cats, really. So horses are pretty good, apparently.
Truly.
I'm not a big expert on horses, but I was just having a chat with a couple of my vet nurses this morning who've got horses, and they were saying their horses are generally pretty cool with it. This is only talking to two people, so other people listening with horses might say no, they're not, but that's what I've had not from the horse's mouth, but close. So, yeah, a lot of dogs and cats can get very frightened by the noise, the change in the atmospheric pressure. A lot of dogs will pick up on that before the storm arrives. They pick up on the pressure in the air changing. So
how do they act?
They just get panicky.
Okay.
They just get worried. Some dogs will run through doors and scratch walls, destroy furniture. They just get into such a panic that they will do sort of anything. And some dogs can get a bit snappy, so you have to be careful just because they really don't know what they're doing. So there's a few things. If your dog or cat wasn't great last weekend, and I was listening to the weather forecast and they're saying this weekend there might be some more storms. So there's a few things you can do with dogs. You can get what's called appropriately a thunder shirt, which is basically almost like a T-shirt. That gives the dog a bit of a hug, and that can actually be quite reassuring for them. So it's simple, it's easy, there's no side effects with it. So that's good. You can get them the old Adaptal collars that I mention a lot, which have the relaxing pheromones in them, and that can help as well. And then if it's really bad, and this is where we had a lot of people coming into the clinic over the weekend wanting medication, and if it does get very bad, then yes, you do need medication. So there's a few different things, and it's often trial and error which one works best for your dog or cat. I had a dog, Bessie, who was really bad with thunder, and Prozac used to work very well with her. And in a lot of cases it doesn't, because it takes a while to build up in the system, but it actually worked really well of all the things I tried with her. And there's other things called trazodone is very popular, and even Valium can be very popular as well. But it's a good idea.
As in human Valium?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. There's no dog specific Valium. It's the same medication. The dose is different. So please, if you're going to use it, don't just use it. Phone up your vet and get advice on using it. The problem with all these things, occasionally, very rarely with Valium and trazodone, not so much with Prozac, but with those ones, very rarely you can get that the dog has the opposite reaction to what you expect, and it actually causes an excitement reaction.
It's like giving a baby Finurgan on the plane. You think it's going to knock them out and go have a sleep, and then they go nuts the whole journey.
Yes.
It's fabulous.
Yes, it's the same sort of thing can happen. So it's a good idea to have a trial run before the event occurs. So again, have a chat with your vet about that and get whatever medication they feel is appropriate. Valium is good. It generally only lasts about 4 hours. So if you're going to have a whole night of storms through the night, then you're going to have to give them a bit of a top-up. And so one of the other ones might be better because they have a longer-lasting effect. So and have them indoors if you know it's coming. Be there, be at home to reassure them.
Mm-hmm. Give them a snuggle.
Yes. If they're not, and this is a funny thing, if they're really upset, then yes, trying to settle them down and keep them quiet can help. If they're not too upset, then actually behaving as if nothing else is happening is quite good, because sometimes they've found with some dogs, if you reassure them and go up to them and say, oh, they're there, then they'll start thinking, should I be worried about something? So it's a bit of a fine line, and you have to judge what your dog's like and what the behaviour's like. But generally, I think most dogs like reassurance and being cuddled and being patted and knowing you're around.
Of course they do.
So,
Who doesn't?
Yes.
We've got a whole list of questions that are flying through. So Kath wants to know if Dr. Derek deals with bearded dragons.
No.
Okay. Do you know a vet in Adelaide that does?
Yes, Anne Fowler deals with those, I think. Pin Needham, who's retired but he's around the place still, is very good with bearded dragons. He operated on a friend of mine's bearded dragon to remove a marble that the bearded dragon had swallowed. So, but try Anne Fowler, or there's a couple of specialist clinics as well. She could try them as well, because I think one of them might be getting in a specialist reptile person soon.
Karen messaged and she said, hi Jade and Dr. Derek, it's not only dogs and cats that are scared of storms. My little budgie Bertie was not his chatty self on Saturday. He was just sitting on his perch really quietly. Once the storm stopped, he was chirping his head off.
Yes.
Don't they say ahead of a tsunami, if the birds, maybe a couple of hours before, I'm going back to the awful one that happened in Thailand.
Yes.
You heard so many stories of animals, in particular birds, just vacated the area and went for higher ground. They almost can predict the storms coming.
Yes, I think there's so much we pretend we know, and I think there's so much we still don't know. I mean, as I was saying, like the dogs can detect the change in the air pressure, and they also have dogs that can detect if a person's blood pressure drops.
I know.
As well. So I mean that's
incredible.
Spooky.
Yeah, we had a beautiful diabetes dog in here the other day, the first one in South Australia that can detect if his owner is going to be unwell or not. Unbelievable. Terry would like to know, do the flea rid squeeze-on tubes work well on cats?
Yes, they do. The problem with them is generally the longest they'll last is about 4 weeks. The problem is that most of the flea population is not on the cat, it's in the environment around. So you need to have a good clean of your house, you need to have a good vacuum, and there's 4 stages of fleas. The egg doesn't move. The larval stage, the pupal stage, and the adult stage all move, and none of them like light. So they all move under the chairs and settees, behind cushions, behind the curtains. So if you just vacuum the middle of your room, they're not going to be there. You have to move things, and then you'll sort of hopefully pick up all the fleas and the developing fleas that are around. well.
But you say to let off one of those flea bomb things.
Yes, I think they're really good if you're comfortable doing that. I think they're really good. They'll tend to kill fleas for about 3 months. So, and as I say, just putting the spot-on products onto the back of your pet is not going to be enough. As soon as they wear off, there's literally going to be thousands of developing fleas that are ready to hop back on again. So you must address the environment and all the other pets in the house as well. Even though we often get 2 dogs that come in, and one dog's itching, and you'll find fleas in both dogs. So a lot of dogs with fleas don't itch, but some of them do, and it's not the fleas crawling around that causes the itch. They actually develop an allergy to a protein in the flea saliva. So the flea bites, puts a bit of saliva into the dog's bloodstream, takes a meal of its blood back, but then the flea saliva can set up the itch reaction. So yeah, even this is lovely topics, but even if your dog or cat is not itchy, they could still have fleas, and the best way to find out is stand them on a white piece of paper and rustle their coat, because flea poo does not stick to the coat, and it will fall off, and it looks like little black specks, and often they look like commas. And so if you get bits of black bits falling off, then get a bit of tissue or cotton wool and wet it, and then wet the black bits. And if it stains red, then you get fleas, because flea poo is just dried blood.
Ugh, gross. Okay, well then you know you've... Yeah.
Then you know, you really find the fleas are very good at hiding.
Jared, this is a fair comment. Hi, Jade and Dr. Derek. Just hearing you talk about staffies. I own a beautiful staffy cross and wouldn't trade her for the world. More needs to be said about how owners actually treat staffies rather than playing the same old line that staffies are born to kill.
Oh, absolutely. And staffies are not born to kill. Staffies are the nicest dogs ever, and absolutely, it's the owner's fault. And yeah, some of the people who get these dogs,
some of them are beautiful,
should not get these. Staffies are just delicious. They're lovely dogs, and if you treat them, any dog with the word terrier at the end has the potential to chase around and maybe chase things and catch things. But if you treat them well, give them lots of TLC, especially from the word go, you'll have a fabulous. But staffies are lovely. Yeah, I agree, Jared.
Dr. Derek, thank you so much for coming in. Great to see you, as always. With hundreds of animals waiting for their forever home, open your heart to an RSPCA rescue animal today. We're going to jump in and get the headlines. On the other side, we'll get an update on the flooding situation, the clean-up situation with the SES.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. SA Power Networks crews are still working to restore power to tens of thousands of homes and businesses following the weekend's wild storms. Another coup for SA with the first live golf tournament in Australia to be played here next year. Turkish police have arrested a suspect in the bombing that has rocked Istanbul, killing 6 people and injuring more than 80. And in Sheffield Shield action, WA has beaten SA by an innings and 28 runs. Showers this afternoon, 18, currently at 17 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
Join 5AA each night from midnight for Australia Overnight.
Hi, it's Tony Moclair here, host of Australia Overnight. Thrilled and delighted, joined by listeners from 5AA, Adelaide's best radio station.
Tony Moclair takes your calls right through the early hours.
And those listeners contributing to the Australia Overnight program and being part of the larger family.
Catch Australia Overnight.
Welcome aboard 5AA.
Live from midnight on Adelaide's 5AA.
Like shocks shooting through your body.
That's how some people describe their shingles pain. Shingles is caused by the reactivation of the chickenpox virus. While most people recover fully, up to 25% may experience long-term complications.
I had to cancel all my plans and struggled to work.
Up to 1 in 3 people risk developing shingles in their lifetime.
If you're 50 or over, don't let shingles affect your plans.
Talk to your doctor for more information. Individual symptoms may vary. Sponsored by GlaxoSmithKline Australia, Melbourne.
Who
can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
From emergency plumbing to electrical and heating and cooling, no matter what size job you need, at Service Today the answer will always be yes we can. It's Service Today guaranteed or it's free.
Can you fix the shower? Yes, we can. Can you fix the power? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
Look out for our bright yellow trucks.
Our pets can be such a comfort, and to some of us, they clearly are part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Cheapest Chips know that maintaining the health and general well-being of your pet can be expensive, especially if you have more than one. So check out their new bigger range of pet food and accessories. They've got everything you need, including puppy pads, cat scratchers, chum pet food and bird accessories, you name it. Cheapest Chips have it. And, of course, it won't cost you a fortune. And remember, you get $10 back when you spend $75 or more in store. That's right. Spend $75 or more in store, and Cheapest Chips will give you a $10 voucher to spend on your next shop. Go to cheapestchips.com, shop, click and collect, or Cheapest Chips can deliver to your door.
You're off then?
Yes, dear.
The backyard needs a good trim with the ride-on mower.
Totally. The kids will be done shortly, so they need picking up from the oval.
Good plan. Why are you giving me the car keys?
You can't walk to the oval, silly. Oh, don't worry, the backyard will look fantastic by the time you get back. Mwah.
Okay, dear. But I get the ride-on next time?
We'll see. Probably not.
Stanford Mowers for ride-ons. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Concrete. It's not always dull and grey. At Outback Sleepers, our concrete is stylish and inspiring. Outback Sleepers come in a variety of colours and patterns, from plain through to sandstone, rock and slate textures. And they're all designed to last for generations by a company that only manufactures concrete sleepers. If your builder is not using Outback Sleepers, you need to be asking why not. Trust the brand Outback Sleepers, sold at over 60 local landscaping and hardware stockists. outbacksleepers.com.au.
Hi, Susanna Toop here. 30 days. That's the average time a rental property stays vacant. But at Toop & Toop, we find tenants in half the time, saving landlords an average of $860 a year. Who are you trusting to look after your biggest investment? Toop.com.au.
$13.95. Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoon. It is 25 minutes to 4 o'clock. I hope you're having a great afternoon wherever you're tuning in from. Well, we know that Saturday was hectic for so many people. Crazy, wild storms hit around 4 o'clock and it's left more than 30,000 people, more than 30,000 homes without power. SA Power Networks, SES, they're working around the clock to try and restore power and keep homes and businesses safe. For an update on what's happening out there, we're joined by the Chief of Staff at the SES, Darren Halliday. Thank you so much for your time. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jade. How are you?
I'm okay. What's the latest?
Our crews are continuing to work around the metropolitan area, particularly through the southern foothills, on, I suppose, some residual work from Saturday's storm. Still a lot of trees down on buildings, trees down on outbuildings, still working in and around fallen power lines at the moment, and working closely with SA Power Networks to clear these trees, as well as being greatly supported by our cousins in the Country Fire Service and the Metropolitan Fire Service who are supporting us.
And then last night, hundreds of calls again because we had another storm, not as bad as Saturday. You guys can't take a trick at the moment. What areas are you focusing on?
You're right. It certainly has been a really, really busy weekend. The areas of focus still continue to be the residual effects from Saturday. Last night's weather didn't help, particularly for those buildings that have got trees that have come through them. But the trees and the storm effect that we've been seeing has been through the Blackwood, Coromandel Valley area, Eden Hills, Bellevue Heights, up through Upper Sturt and Stirling, but also down through the Warradale and Glengarry area, and in through Morphet Vale and surrounds down there as well. So there's been significant work, particularly for our southern units, and we do certainly encourage people to call 132 500 if they are requiring SES assistance for trees that have fallen on structures and across roads and such like. If they've got fallen power lines, first of all, stay away from those power lines and call SA Power Networks. And our other messaging at the moment is to try and discourage our children from actually playing on some of these fallen trees and such, like even if they're in backyards. They can be heavily damaged and actually quite unpredictable with trees that have fallen down on structures and even down flat in backyards.
And Darren, I mean, with more rain forecast and the soil being so wet, there's still obviously a danger of some more trees falling as well.
Yeah, this time of year, particularly with the spring storms that do come through, we are noticing an increase in workload more broadly, and we do encourage members of the public to prepare themselves for this occasional wild and woolly weather as it comes through. Just making sure that if there is a forecast of strong winds, to tie down any loose items and articles outside that might blow up, but also just to make sure they stay away from those fallen trees and those fallen power lines when this spring weather does come through.
How many days are you expecting this clean-up to take?
Look, it certainly appears that we're going well into today, and we're organising crews again for tomorrow to continue to penetrate some of these areas where we've got ongoing work. Members of the public are continuing to call in, which is obviously what we're encouraging with their significant challenges with trees on buildings and trees over access ways particularly. So I'd be anticipating there's still several days' work in this for us.
Well, hang in there, and thank you so much for the great work that you're doing.
Really appreciate it, Jade. Please take care.
Cheers, you too, and to your team. Darren Halliday, their Chief of Staff at the SES, doing a absolutely phenomenal job. And, I mean, they're saying that restoring power to those homes, those 30,000 homes that we're hearing about, could take much longer than when they were restoring power to in 2016, that statewide blackout, because it was that statewide blackout, whereas these are lots of individual areas, and experts are saying, you know, if you have a cluster of areas, well, that's the priority at the moment, to get that up, because the attention to just one home is the same as what it takes to get a group of homes or suburbs back up and running. So, yeah, still a lot of pain for a lot of people moving forward. I know a lot of you are still without power, and without that obviously means fridges aren't working, leaving the risk of food and beverages going off. So, you know, to know what might and might not be safe following an emergency, we're joined by Karen Ferris, who's the Director of Food Safety and Regulation with SA Health. Karen, great to have you on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jade.
Look, at this particular point, it seems quite trivial to be talking about, you know, losing a bit of food, a bit of bread and milk, but it actually could lead to significant health issues if you do eat the wrong food. So what should people do if you've got no power to your fridge?
So both time and temperature are important, and we know that different people are getting their power back at different times. So if you've got a closed refrigerator, it'll typically keep food cold, and we say below 5 is cold, for 4 to 6 hours. So those that obviously have had power off for, 24 hours plus, most of the foods in there will have to be discarded. And as we know, some foods may look and smell fine, but they may contain enough bacteria to make you ill. So some of the things that we would suggest people can keep if they've lost power for longer than that 4 to 6 hours and the food is actually sort of room temperature by then, things like butter and margarine are safe. Shell eggs are okay. Hard cheeses such as cheddar cheese, commercial, fruit juices and things that have been opened. We've got peanut butter jam, pickled brine vegetables. Any of your condiments, such as your sauces, they'll tend to be okay, even if they've been at room temperature. Anything that's a bread or a cake or a muffin or anything like that doesn't have cream, and, fruit pies, those sorts of things. Those things can actually be still consumed. But anything that's risky, such as, your raw or your cooked meats, cooked rices or pasta or soft cheeses or salads and those things would have to be discarded. But in regards to the freezer, typically a closed freezer will keep food semi-frozen for about 24 hours. So if once the power comes back on, or before that, if people actually want to go and get an esky and put ice in it and transfer stuff before it actually gets above 5 degrees, they can then refreeze it or refrigerate and use it. Some things such as ice cream would be safe, but unfortunately the quality wouldn't be very good. So, that's probably the most advice we can give. Always good to have a temperature probe in your kitchen so you can check those temperatures. It happens to be Food Safety Week this week of all weeks. And I know, so we talk about, using a temperature probe to check cook temperatures of foods. Most of this information is available on our website. We actually have a list of all the products that are safe after, an emergency, whether that be power failure or other inclement weather that's impacted your power. So that's, so there is actually that information on our website, and we've also put out some social media posts as well over the weekend, just letting people know what things they shouldn't consume and how long it would be safe to have power out. So,
how quickly does listeria start to grow? And if you do consume it, what are the symptoms of food poisoning? Okay, so food poisoning is a lot broader than just listeria, and they can range in symptoms. So typically with, so we might talk about salmonella, you'll have nausea, well, I won't go into specific organisms, maybe if we just go generally, but there, otherwise I might be here all afternoon. So basically you'll get, it could be nausea, it could be vomiting, it could be headaches. There's a whole range of things that can happen, and they're very, very dependent on the organism. So what we say is if you've got a product that's high risk that may contain these bacteria, that you just don't take any risks and you throw it out. Thank you so much. That is Karen Ferris there from SA Health. Can you imagine if your wedding day was on Saturday? Can you just imagine it? And your wedding reception, your ceremony, everything, it was scheduled to take place outside on Saturday afternoon in a beautiful, country setting by a lake, and then Saturday's storm, it comes and plays absolute havoc for your guests. Wedding guests, it happened. It did. It happened. And wedding guests were evacuated. The lake flooded. It ruined this person's ceremony. Guests were forced to help move chairs, you name it. Everything that could possibly go wrong, it went wrong. The wedding was forced from a beautiful location to a primary school. And Beck, our bride from Lockleys, had every right to lose her mind and turn into a bridezilla, but she kept her cool. Beck, congratulations. You got married on the weekend, but not without its fair share of interruptions. What happened?
Yeah, thank you. Well, we got a bit flooded at our original venue. So we had to come up with a bit of a backup plan. And pretty much everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. But, it was pretty amazing to see all of our family, friends and guests just rally together and pick everything up and move it. So we were originally supposed to get married at a place called the Olives in Yankalilla. It was an outside garden wedding. We had a marquee set up for all our guests, and we had a backup plan. If it was going to rain, we were going to move into the marquee. Mm-hmm. And then the rain came and we're like, it's all right, it's just a little bit of rain. And then the power went out. And we're like, it's okay. We were told it was going to be back on by 7, so we were like, we'll just use a UE boom, have some music. We've got alcohol. We'll be fine to keep going. And then even more rain came and the venue started to flood. So all of our guests were standing in basically a pool of water that was flowing over the top of their shoes. And the pond that we were getting married next to started to overflow. And we were like, I don't think this is going to work. So had to start calling around a few places to see if we could find somewhere else to go. And the Yankalilla High School was super generous, and they opened up the school gymnasium for us. And we moved everything.
Oh my golly! So had you even got to the part where you say I do?
No. So I was still at the house where I was getting ready with my bridesmaids. And my partner was here at the venue, and we had buses bringing our guests here. So one bus was already here, so we just ushered all the guests into the marquee. And then when the second bus arrived, that's when the flooding really started to get bad. So we just told all those guests to stay on the bus, not get too wet. And I was just sort of sitting at home, just making a million phone calls, trying to find somewhere else for us to go. And then, I told my partner that the school was going to have us, and everyone just picked up everything. And I stayed at the house. I felt kind of bad because I was just in this dry place, like not helping, not doing anything. I said to my bridesmaids, should we just get undressed and go help? And they're like, no, just leave it. Everyone's got it. And yeah, everyone was incredible. People were picking up furniture, like loading cars, and yeah, they all got to the venue with my partner and his groomsmen, and everyone just sort of started setting stuff up. And I was asking them yesterday, like, how did it happen? Was people in charge? And they're like, no, everyone just sort of started putting things places, and then other people would add to it, and they just made it look like this stunning aisle at one side and then a sort of reception on the other side. So I had no idea what I was walking into when we got there, and yeah, it looked pretty special in the end.
Oh, wow. What incredible friends and support you've got.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
How on earth did you get the school on a Saturday?
So my parents both used to work at the school at the start of this year, and my mum was supposed to return her school key this weekend while we were down here. And she was like, "Oh, I've still got the key. I haven't returned it yet." So yeah, we called the principal, and she was amazing. She was like, "Of course." She's like, "Can we do anything to help?" And yeah, we got it open, and it worked out.
Oh, that is phenomenal. And I've seen photos, and it looks like a function hall. Your friends made it look absolutely beautiful, and you didn't freak out at all.
Nah, I was pretty confident we'd work something out. When everything one thing would happen, we sort of came up with a solution, and then the next thing would happen. I was like, okay, we can work that out. And yeah, once we got the other venue, I just sort of sat down with all my bridesmaids, and the footy was on, so we had a few beers and watched the footy.
Oh, Beck, you're certainly not a bridezilla, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the reception. People were the guests sopping wet, and afterwards, was it just like, can you believe what has just happened?
Yeah, everyone was just like, this is like the most incredible day. Like, everyone said it was just like, nobody cared that they were wet. Like, it was just so much fun, and even moving, they were just like, this is amazing, like setting it all up. And like, you could never say you go to a wedding and you got to like set up the whole venue for the bride and groom, and they did not care at all. They were legends, and lots of people had their shoes and socks off when we were at the reception because they were all so wet, but that didn't matter.
Wow. Did you wake up in the morning and have a look at the radar and think, oh, surely not, this just cannot be?
We looked at it and we're like, I think it's going to be okay. Like, we had a plan. We're like, we're supposed to get married at 4. And we were like, we'll get to, I think they were supposed to start clearing about 5. So we're like, even if we just get the guests there, put them in the marquee, let them have a drink, and then if I have to rock up an hour early once the rain's finished, hour late, sorry, once the rain's finished, then that's what we'll do. But yeah, we never imagined that much rain was going to come, and we never imagined that the whole place would just sort of fill with water. And yeah.
So the ceremony was meant to start at 4 o'clock. That's when that crazy storm, cyclone, whatever you want to call it, it hit pretty much at exactly that time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
They do say that rain on your wedding days, good luck.
They do. Yeah. Everyone keeps telling us that we'll be together forever with that much rain.
Where are you going for your honeymoon? Somewhere dry, I hope.
Yeah, we haven't booked anything yet. Hopefully, maybe this time next year we might try and get away to some sunny Noosa or something like that.
I know it's not the day that you planned, but looking back on it, would you change anything?
I don't think I would, to be honest. Like, we had a catch up with all our guests on Sunday, and everyone was just like, that was the most incredible day, and it was so much fun. And it actually probably suited us to a T. Like, we're a bit bogan, so getting married in a school is probably suits us.
Where'd you go for your photos?
So we were supposed to do a first look at about 2 o'clock at the beach, and 2 o'clock came around and it was raining. So my partner ended up just coming to the house where I was getting ready, and he stood out on the balcony, and I just walked out there and we did the first look.
And went, nah, that's not happening. Beck, you do realise that you can stop calling him partner and call him hubby now?
True. I'm not used to that. I don't think I've said that once yet.
Enjoy. Oh, my golly, what a story to tell.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely won't forget it.
What a legend of a bride. How chilled was she? I reckon 99% of brides would have lost their mind. She's like, just watched the footy and had some beers. It was all fine. Congratulations, Beck and Stephen. They say rain on your wedding day has many meanings, including good for fertility and good for a union. Well, you guys are in for a lifetime of togetherness and babies.
Sunday nights from 7, join Sean Fuster with his partner in crime, Daniel Panozzo, for Just Lawful, the Adelaide crime stories that will leave you stunned. You can make a difference without getting involved through independent charity Crime Stoppers, supported by Police Credit Union.
Hey Rick, it's Chris from Automasters. Just thought I'd give you a quick rundown on some of the things on the car.
Now you can see what we see.
Just want to show you two little things on the CX-5.
AutoCam.
So this is the air filter out of your car.
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
It's not actually the wheel bearing. What it is, the handbrake's integrated into the calipers.
See any issue firsthand. How good? Real-time reporting with instant SMS approval. Call 1300 Automasters. Great service guaranteed.
At Officeworks, we're getting ready to switch on
Black Friday prices.
In preparation, we're price checking and price dropping hundreds of products. So hurry into Officeworks and make bigger things happen for lower prices.
Introducing the Kia Cars of the Year. The Kia Cars of the Year. The fully electric Kia EV6. The Wheels Car of the Year. And the Drive Car of the Year. The Kia Sportage. To pick your side in this sibling rivalry, visit kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
If it pops, or if it twists, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If it comes in a can, or is best in a glass, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If you serve it on the rocks, or with a paper umbrella. In fact, whether it's wine, beer or spirits, whatever you fancy, you'll find it at FIVEAA. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor stores.
Hi, I'm Kay. I work with St. Louis Home Care and I'm an enrolled nurse and I work as a community coordinator.
St. Louis was started by my great-grandmother and now is one big happy family with lovely staff just like Kay.
The people that work for St. Louis are very loving, caring.
Whether it's gardening, meals, shopping, home maintenance or social activities, we help people stay at home for longer.
If you're interested, come and join us.
Google St. Louis Home Care today.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
AutoCam.
So this is the air filter out of your car.
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
It's not actually the wheel bearing. What it is, the handbrake.
AutoCam. Real-time reporting with instant SMS approval. Call 1300 Automasters.
$13.95. Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back. This week we are celebrating TJM, our FIVEAA Business of the Week, four-wheel driving. Well, if you want to get there, you want to be TJM equipped. TJM, Nailsworth and Clovelly Park.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Now, this year's must-see Christmas event is A Night at the Carols. It's going to be featuring James Morrison, special appearances from your favourite FIVEAA presenters, and so much more. Sunday, the 27th of November at Norwood Concert Hall. Tickets, they're selling really, really fast. You can get your tickets now from Try Booking, or if you want to win a double pass, call now, 8223 0055. Sports guys are coming up next. See you later.
FIVEAA's daily live video stream of The Breakfast Show is a game changer in Australian radio and is back online.
We're now going